Welcome. In this video we show a free kit we developed to install and manage WebCenter Sites12c using Docker and the Amazon cloud. The kit can be used also with your own servers and in other clouds. This kit is a collection of scripts to build Docker images in different environments. Supported environments are VirtualBox, Amazon Web Services Cloud, a generic server running Linux. Modifying the scripts, many more options are available, since Docker supports a large number of environments. Once built, the images can be saved on the Amazon S3 web storage service. Scripts are provided to reuse the images without having to rebuild them. Let's start with an overview of how to use this kit. A video demonstration of the steps will follow. First step is to download both the Docker toolbox, for using Docker, and the kit Sites12c Docker from GitHub. Then, you can use it to build on Amazon EC2. The steps are the following. You create a proper virtual machine. You build an image with Sites and the supporting software. You store the image in Amazon S3. Finally, you can then run the image you created in a server in your local network. The kit provides the script to run Docker in an existing Linux server. The kit includes the scripts to download the image you created from Amazon S3. Once downloaded, you can run the images created in your own server. Let's go in the Docker website. Select Products, then the Docker Toolbox. Click on Learn More and download the Docker Toolbox for your system. Choose between Windows and Mac. Now wait until the download is completed, then install it. It is recommended you install Git for Windows because we will make use of it. We will work on the command line. So, click on the icon with Docker Quick Start Terminal. From the command line, you can now type the command to download the kit from GitHub. Now, just enter into the created directory and verify we have all the files. Let's start from the step 0, preparing a virtual machine for building our images. In this step we are going to launch an instance in the Amazon cloud. We need to configure it a bit. Required steps are: log into Amazon, using a root account, create a new user and get his security key and secret, assign to him the permission to create virtual machines, select the zone and get the VPC ID. When you create a new user, you must get his security credentials, most notably the key and the secret. To see them, click on Show Security Credentials to see the key and the secret. Do not forget to save them for future use. You also need the VPC ID for creating the VM with the scripts. To see the VPC ID, go to the dashboard of the EC2 instances. The VPC ID is shown on the right. Once we collected the informations, you can execute the command shown below. Note the machine name is an arbitrary name, while the others are the parameters we collected before. After the instance is created, you need to open port 7003. Select the instance in the dashboard, then click on the link, Docker Machine, to reach the security group. Click on the Edit button and add a custom TCP rule in the inbound group. The rule must open port 7003 from any IP address. Go in the Amazon AWS website. Log in the Management Console. Select the root user if you have other non-root account. Execute the main script. It will tell you the missing parameters. The first parameter is an arbitrary name for your virtual machine. Now go into Security Credentials to create a new user in order to get the access key and secret. Type your new user. Show security credentials. Copy the key and paste into the command prompt. Do the same for the secret. Now locate the VPD8 in the Amazon EC2 instance dashboard. Ensure you are using US East Zone. Copy the VPC-ID and paste in the terminal. Before launching the creation of the virtual machine, you need to give proper permissions to the user. Select your user and attach a policy able to create virtual machines. I am giving administrator access, but you can choose a more restrictive one. We are now ready to launch our instance. Press Enter in the terminal and watch the messages in the terminal to ensure everything works properly. We completed installation adding an alias to the virtual machine IP in our local host file. Let's do a quick check verifying if we can reach the new virtual machine with the alias. We are now ready to build the images. The procedure is split in multiple steps to make it easier to check for errors. 1. We will download software. 2. Install WebLogic. 3. Install WebCenter sites. 4. Save the image on Amazon S3. The first script will automatically download the software from the Oracle website. Since software download requires an account, although a free one, you need to provide your credentials. The second script will install WebLogic and Oracle in the images. You do not need to provide parameters for this. Now we are ready to build the images. The process is split in multiple steps in order to better manage problems. Step 1 is the downloading of the software. The script will ask for your credentials in the Oracle website. Once download is complete, we can execute Step 2 script. It will just install WebLogic in the images. The third scripts install WebCenter sites. Since sites requires an hostname, you may need to create an entry in your host file to point to the server where you are installing. You have to provide also a password that will be used for all the default users in the system. The fourth step allows to save the images we created in the Amazon S3 web storage service. Data in S3 is stored in buckets. You have to create a bucket before executing the command, which requires a bucket name. The third step is installing WebCenter sites in the environment we built. Sites requires a fixed hostname when you install it. Therefore, we provide the alias we created when we installed the virtual machine. Furthermore, the site's installer created a number of users. We have to provide a password that will be used for all the default users created. Now the installation is finished. We have to load the configuration first with the command shown. Now we can start sites using the composer command. It will start two containers, one for the database and another for WebLogic. We have to wait a bit until the startup is completed. When we see the running message, startup is complete. We can now log in sites. We have to use the hostname we provided and the password we specified when installing. If everything worked correctly with no errors, you will be now able to log in. The fourth step is to save the images we created in the Amazon S3 storage service. The script requires the bucket name where to store the images. So we go in the S3 management screen, we click on Create Bucket and we provide a bucket name. Now we can save the images. Once you created the images, you can reuse them to install a server with Sites. This step is comprised of a few sub-steps. First, you need to set up a DNS alias to your server. Second, you need to install manually Docker in a server. Then you can use a script to download images from Amazon S3. Finally, you can run the images. Some details are system dependent. Your site's image uses a specific name, so you need to edit the host file of your system to be sure the name you choose will point to your server. Now, you need to install Docker in your server. The details of the installation are different for each system. Here is shown an example installation using CentOS. Consult the Docker documentation for details about your Linux distribution. You are now ready to download the images, using the fifth script. You need to provide a number of parameters: the host name you assigned to Sites, the IP of your server, the Amazon key and secret, and finally the bucket name. Once you collected all those informations, the script will do all the work needed to download a runnable Sites image in your server. Now you are ready to start. Just use the following command and you can use Sites. To start, we need to create an alias using the host name we use when creating the images. So we edit the host file of our system and we add an entry pointing to our new server. We can now connect to the server. We install Docker using, when available, a package of our distribution. For the CentOS operating system, for Docker we just need to use yum to install the additional tool Docker Compose. We instead need to download the binary from the website. The binary must be made executable after the download. Let's ensure the Docker service is up and running. Initially there are no images available. We use git to get our kit in order to get access to the scripts for downloading the images. Step 5 downloads images from S3 in your server. First, you need to provide the hostname you assigned to Sites. Second, you need to provide the public IP for your server, that will be likely different from the IP where you created the images. You also need key and secret to access the S3 bucket. You can reuse the same keys for the installation, or create new ones. Of course you need the bucket name, too. Once downloaded you can just start the images with the Docker Compose tool. You can now log in your instance of Sites without having to reinstall it from scratch.